walking with a purpose. Every step is intentional. Laced up tight, the mission's unconventional. From the court to the mic, yeah, the vision is biblical. Welcome to the show, yeah, this is Lace Report. Let's go! Check the kicks, they clean, but the walk is cleaner. Mindset on the prize, couldn't be no keener. Daily discipline, building up my demeanor. Iron sharpens iron, spirit gets a little meaner. From the hardwood to the booth, it's the same pro. Metanoia. I changed how I see it, same streets, new hard. I don't move how I did, metanoia. Had to die to my pride. If the mind don't shift, you just living a lie. Metanoia. I changed how I see it, same streets, new hard. I don't move how I did, metanoia.
Yo, what's good, Lace with Purpose, fam? This is your boy, Jay Bags.
34.
And we are here with our brothers from Metanoia. Brothers.
Jesse,
Omega.
and we're 2/3 of Metanoia. We're missing our brother Mark. We're going to give him a shout out though. He's sorry he couldn't make it today, but we're going to hold it down for us.
Let's go.
I'm AJ. I'm the youngest of everybody, as you probably can see.
Dang. Hold on, brother. What you mean?
He's the only one that
Got no brain.
But no, yeah, I'm here for to pick up some things of all y'all. So
That's what's up.
happy to be here. Happy to be here.
So listen, this is the episode where we're just kicking back, we're chilling. We're gonna chop it up with AJ, get to know AJ on a different level. He's the youngest out of us all, as he already stated. But him being around us, we have a group chat where we always chopping it up about so many different things, like just to get his point of view of some things. And of course, we got our Metanoia brothers here, so we just want to chop it up with them and see how they got their podcast started and how the camaraderie is growing in this building. So sit back, take a ride, let's go. So fellas, let us know, how did Metanoia get started?
Honestly, this started just from having just regular conversations. There's no you just be on the phone, just chopping up with brothers, and you be on like a three-way conversation. And next thing you know, you start having all these different topics that we talked about. And then somebody be like, yo, this should have been a podcast.
Right.
How many times did I say it should have been a podcast but it had to be in a podcast?
That's true.
So we started talking, this is probably like maybe last year, 2 years ago, even up to that point. So we did our first podcast. Actually, Omega was
That was pre-me. That was pre-me.
no.
That was before Omega.
I know what you mean.
Conversations
The
before-
right.
Before I came on board, because my episode was the first of
Yes.
three of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So wait, they was interviewing you, and then that's when it.
Correct.
That's how it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because we interviewed him. It was like it just clicked at that moment. Like, yo, just ask his brother to come and be a part with us.
That's what's up.
And it just started just meshing together at that point. So it's been good right now.
So let's explain what metanoia means.
Yes.
Well, Metanoia is the renewal of the mind. So it's like, repentance or whatever, just going from an old mind state into whatever new positive one, whatever mind state you're looking for. But everything we do is grounded towards Christ. Right.
It's testimonies, things that changed. What changed in your life to bring you closer to God, or bring you to, bring you closer to Christ, or bring you to Christ.
So what made you say yes though? Because you could have just let them do their thing, but what gave you that? You know what? Yeah, I'm jumping on board.
So I'm in a season of allowing God to do whatever it is He's going to do in my life. So I saw the vision. I was with it, especially after. Listen, so I never did a podcast prior to that.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? So when they asked me, all right, Lord, maybe this is something that you want me to get into, because I can be quiet in the back. Ain't nobody want to hear from me. They might see me, but they might not hear too much.
Right.
So that's how I usually like to be. So I was like, well, maybe this is God telling me to be more expressive and put myself out there a little bit more. So, like I said, I'm in the season of allowing God to do whatever He wants to do with me in my life. And that's with anything. Like,
And that's his own ministry, right? Like, because, say for me, I'm behind the scenes, like, trying to set up like a shot. And this is pushing my to be in the forefront. Even like the interviews, I'll try to skate in the back. So
I don't let it happen.
record, but it ministers to yourself when you start to push your almost get out of your comfort zone and then your story comes through even stronger in that. So that's awesome.
I think that was the whole purpose of it too. Is that we hear a lot of voices, we hear a lot of testimonies. Sometimes we hear the same ones over and over again. Not repeating anything about it, but for people like us who don't really talk that much, unless we're in a small circle, it is like you said, it's kind of challenging to come out and talk about yourself. But once we started doing that, we say, this is a lane because there's a lot of people who don't even get the opportunity to talk about themselves. So we start now just looking at it and trying to pull them to the forefront so their story be heard because at some point everybody should get their chance to have their voice be heard from someone else.
There's a lot of really dope stories out there. So like Jesse said, just hearing more from other people, like, you learn from that. And what's the point of having a testimony? You're not putting it out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you learned the lesson, but ain't nobody else, got that lesson. They might be going through the same thing that you're going through or have went through. So this is a good way to put your story out there.
So what about you, Jay? Like, what from you see the Metanor brothers, you see the Lace Purpose brothers, is that something like, what, maybe down the line I may want to start my own podcast or your own lane?
Absolutely. I mean, having a podcast or just the podcast in general has always been like very intriguing to me. To be like in an environment where you just having a free flow conversation, I live for that. Like being around y'all in general is amazing enough as it is. Like, it's a blessing. But being able to do it to where other people can hear it, as long as me, with me is even more like, yeah, it's it's just a blessing in my opinion.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, how can I word this? What do you guys feel like you gain from one another? Or what have you learned about each other since the podcast has come together?
Strengths and weaknesses, and building off of strengthening your weaknesses.
Okay.
Building each other up. Um, like we said, like I don't honestly, don't all three of us don't want to be in front of the camera.
Absolutely not.
You can't tell though when you watch the episodes. It's like
Correct.
I just flow with it though.
Yeah. But we pushing each other,
Mm-hmm.
and iron sharpens iron.
Right.
So we pushing each other to do more. So that's what we do. Like that's what we get out of it. I know that's what I get out of it. Is being pushed into something like I said that I wouldn't normally do.
Right. And honestly, it was like also a lot of the stuff that we're doing was the vision of our brother Mo.
Right.
And I think, we get to a point, especially as brothers in Christ, we are here to help someone's vision come to fruition, and whatever that might take, whatever. So if he got the spot, that's his part of the play. If it's for me to be like a talent scout, so to say, to find somebody, that's our part. That's my part. But we all come together just to form this one thing. Even though it might be uncomfortable to be in front, it's just that we have our own little pieces, our niche that we use together to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
But what made y'all two get together? Like, that's another question.
No, we was talking about y'all.
That's a great thing. That's another question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. How did this work? I know some of the story, but I know our listeners want to know too. So how did this thing happen?
It came about because we talked about it was actually supposed to be a Super Bowl thing. We were just gonna do a podcast about the Super Bowl.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that was we literally it was just going to be the Super Bowl. We were going to talk about it. And that was it. And then it was more so like I always wanted to do a podcast. Like I was out, sports is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with sneakers. It had nothing to do, with Christ or anything on that level. You know what I mean? It was just sports. So me and my partner from New York, Johnny Lee, we were supposed to do it together, but his schedule is conflicting. My schedule is conflicting. So it was like one day, James sent me a logo because I know he was telling me about like a business venture him and his business partner was working on.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, bet. I was like, yo, this is dope, bro. He was like, yo. So one day we was just talking. I was like, so how's that business gonna go? He said, what business? I said, the text you sent me. Oh, that's for us. I said, for us? He's like, yeah, we're gonna do it. Let's do a podcast. Oh,
okay.
Right, exactly.
That's how
That was my thing. So we was like, what we gonna talk about or whatever, and then that's when the idea started flowing. And like we said, it was just supposed to be a podcast. That was it. But then, Selena saw something. You know, Patty saw something that it was just more than just a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was more like you guys. We talking about sneakers because we love sneakers. We talking about sports. We love sports. We talking about God. We love God. But it's more to it.
It's a movement.
It's a movement. So that's when all the different branding started coming out of it. You know, the wasted moments. You know, we did the joint with JoJo and his
Right,
family.
yeah.
That was dope.
And it was
That
just
was-
like those certain moments, soul purpose moments, where we like a revelation comes into play. Like, oh, we talking about God, and then that scripture hit. Like,
Mhm.
why did that scripture hit you? Oh, if Bishop says something and it ministers to us on a different level, that's a soul purpose moment.
Right.
You know, so it was pretty much built off of that. And as it grows, we start to see what we're able to build off of that.
Mhm.
And then literally, it's just like the chemistry between us just came, it just flowed. Like one thing clicked, right? You know, and I'll tease him because he's a perfectionist. And like he said a minute ago, he'll hide behind the camera and put me on the camera. But I'm like, nah, enough of this, brother. Let's you in this interview.
Right,
too.
right.
I gotta make sure.
Yeah, we do.
I got, my thing is this: it's laced with purpose. This is Joe and James, not Joe and you behind the scenes. We're doing this together. So and that's just how it works. So from your point of view,
Now, for me, it's I like the production aspect. I am a perfectionist, especially when it comes to a brand, keeping things together. But it was something different about this that pushed, like, even creating the logo, right? It's one of those things, like, I do crazy stuff at like 2 o'clock. So it's like, something will hit me, I'll create something. Like I'll send like a t-shirt design, and I'll just
1 o'clock.
late night. But with this, we were talking about it just to do something for the Super Bowl. We were going to do it at church, and it was just like, I think, I was talking to with Patty. It was like, yo, this could be something bigger than that. We did it. So, and like you said, we just started moving with it, and even the last, let's say, month, we've been
Shit.
rolling. And a lot of people have been reaching out, especially with some of the specials and now interviews, because they've been connecting their own purpose through it. It's kind of like what you said earlier. I'm just at this stage of my life where God used me for him. I've done, I would say my own way for so long. So I'm trying to see where, with his guiding path, where this is going to head, and just, pouring all into it. So, and it's been a blessing. So, just here for the ride, keep moving with it.
And that's interesting because I was just about to say, since y'all started the podcast, Laced with Purpose, what kind of impact has this made on your faith?
So the funny thing was this: when we first started talking about, we started putting out the episodes, and I was like, why is it not getting big attraction? Like, we talking about sports, we talking about this, and it was like my faith got shaky in the beginning because I'm thinking we just gonna shoot off because you building something, and then of course when you get like the encouragement from my brothers and everybody that knows us, like, oh, this is gonna be good, we love it, and they're like, well, how come not many people are? Selena had to tell me, he's like, and even James, you gotta crawl before you walk. Everybody's not gonna get it right away, but as you guys continue to build and build, you will see it more.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just took, for me personally, it was just more so, all right, take a deep breath, relax. Because, it was the excitement of it. So when you get excited, you're feeling like, oh, it's going to move. And when it ain't moving, you're like, well, what are we not doing?
Right.
But I had to take a deep breath. And once I literally took that deep breath, literally about like 2 or 3 weeks later, bam, things just started hitting.
Start getting traction.
Yeah, started getting traction. People asking us, hey, can we come on your platform?
Right.
And it's just like, how did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
I kept my mouth closed and I just went through the process. I went through that journey.
Patience.
Yeah, it was patience.
So your faith was not strong.
It got stronger over that because I've had faith, but I think because the excitement for this and you see what it can be and you see how much it can build and you're like, man, I need this. I want this. This has to work. But then when you start putting that I factor in it, you lose.
Yes. Yeah.
And once I got I out the way and realized, okay, this is a movement and God is using this platform for us to talk to so many different people and putting us in front of different people, then that's when you started singing. So I'm like, okay, how can I have faith all the time, but the moment I see something, I get to the I moment.
Right. I think that's huge because sometimes, even in life, right, you get in front of yourself and not realizing, like, is this God driven or is this me?
Right.
And that's the point. Like, you always want that. The flesh wants that instant gratification.
Yes.
Right? Soon as you know, put the money out, you want that return. But knowing that you got to put time and effort in, and that return may not be in the timing that you envision, but knowing that when that time is right, everything can start to line up. And that's honestly, to me, like how a lot of things started working. Even like, coming back into church and faith, um, I kept running from church and everything, but it was not until I started, like, almost to be obedient, see how it goes, that things started to line up and different connections started to solidify. Even bringing back one of my companies, that I was just like, I've had companies over time, and sprung them up, close them down, but now driving it with just my current walk and everything, everything's just lining up and working out. So it's one of those things, just being obedient and understanding that it's not about your time. It's God's time. Yeah.
He don't never want to be in front of the camera.
No,
It's powerful. It's like,
That's me. Being obedient. How is this? All of this stuff affecting you when you're changing your walk?
Well, I will say this: watching Lace with Purpose and Fentanyl as well. Seeing the difference from when y'all started to where you're at now. Being able to interview Ike Reese and being able to interview Brandon Graham and even Allen Iverson. It's like being able to just watch that happen it goes without saying that. That's beautiful.
Hold on, here's the thing. Not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
When we first walked in the sneaker con, you came and grabbed me. Like, yo, Brandon Graham's right here. We would have straight missed him because we
Knowledge scout.
right.
I literally thought, yo, I was looking for you. I was looking for. I'm like, yo, where's Omega? I walk past and I'm seeing this line. I'm like, that's a long line. They got to have nothing there. So I turn the corner. I see Brandon Graham. Like, oh, that's crazy. So as soon as I see that, I immediately turn to my left and I see Joe walking in with his family, and I beeline right to him. I start sprinting. I'm like, Joe, you gotta, like, right now, like, you gotta get this line. This line is so short. Yeah, it was crazy. And then after that, Allen Iverson came. That interview them too. It was awesome. So being able to watch y'all do that and see where you guys are gonna go in the future, it's like, not only is it inspirational, but it also speaks to the amount of obedience, like you said, that all of y'all had. Because it's not a hard yes to commit to a podcast, especially a podcast where you're not used to being in front of the camera and you're not used to having that publicity. So saying a yes to something like this, and sharing what you guys have done or what you guys are going to do in the future with your vision is powerful beyond measure. So it speaks to me, and I know it speaks to other people like my brother and even other people like my dad and things like that. Just having you guys around is amazing. It's amazing.
You got a podcast voice.
Hey, look, the mic right there.
Yeah. He in shop. This is good.
So for right now, for you guys, just listen to even the point about when y'all went and saw Brandon Graham, everybody, is one is obedience and being ready. Just being ready on the spot. So whenever the opportunity takes itself, seize that moment. So you have to always be ready and see, like.
But go ahead.
And I would say with that is, like, we had an opportunity to go out to, like, the Rocker game and with Brotherly Love, and being ready was one of the key things because Brother Doug was like, hey, y'all ready to?
Oh, he ready to go all the time.
Shout out to Doug Reed. Yes. Shout out to Doug Reed. Yo, Doug, we gonna get you on the couch, Doug.
But and it was one of those things, getting ready and having, we have our core, purpose checks and everything like that. So being ready to have those questions on the fly, some of it we're looking up, researching like different things on people right away. Just
You have to.
we can have those conversations.
Journalism.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
felt like the journalist. He's like, yo, I got y'all the Jermaine Jones from the 76ers.
Yeah. That's
Right.
right.
All right, draft pick,
Which
28
is-
draft
right,
pick,
right.
boom, boom, boom.
Gotta do your homework.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like he said, it was like he saw what we were doing. And he was like, yo, I got to put y'all in front of the camera. Yo, I'm going to get y'all this interview right now. Like, hold on, we ain't ready. Nah, I got y'all. Y'all ready. And he's grabbing people all over.
Mm-hmm.
Like the, what's his name, VAR? The owner of the Brotherly Love team. And the guy who put together the international class. It was him. He put us in front of him.
Wow.
The owner of Rucker, how Rucker got started. It was like, yo, you saw something.
Really? Yeah.
Like he put us in front of them and let's go back. Why is nothing happening? Why is nothing happening? And look at what's
You have to get in
transpiring.
line.
Right? And of course, also shout out to Jasmine Moore for seeing our vision and asking us, did we want to take part in that?
Okay.
And she opened up that door as well for us to be there. So
It was pushing.
right.
So, it was. It's one of those things, like you said, being obedient to that, yes, but being ready. But even if you're not ready, being able to get ready on the fly has been a kind of a blessing. Where and we can piggyback off each other. Like if I'm not ready or he's not, like we can jump in and jump out. But it's everything's been in alignment and been flowing, which is great. So it's one of those things where when you start to see it come together, you can start to see the future and what that means. And the one thing, we weren't even part of the media to be in a certain situation. And the interview we got was with another Christian pastor that was inspiring the youth, and it was like right timing at the moment. So you knew that was like the divine order, at that point, because there's no way we would have gotten that. We're the only ones there at that time to actually get that interview that aligned to everything we were doing that day. So it's definitely been things, just that alignment and seeing that is just amazing right now.
God moving.
Yeah. And even like linking up with you guys, and we had a great session.
That's all right, because we're going to do it again.
Right.
But that reinvigorated just my thought process in not only my faith journey, because a lot of my faith journey now is we spoke about that as a backbone of my mother.
Yeah.
My mother passed 14 years ago, and I couldn't speak about that for years. My wife knows this. Like, somebody would try to touch it, and I shut it down right away. It took me 10 years or more to be able to like have that conversation that we had over there. But it's one of those things where when you start to follow that path, everything becomes easier a little bit. I can lift that weight of losing my mom easier now that I've been doing these things and being able to actually have a platform to speak about it. Because, that was one of the biggest pains that broke me and even stepped me further away from faith. So now I'm being able to have a platform where we're speaking to purpose. And my mom was one that had, to me, one of the biggest purpose, because she never let it go. And I never understood that. But now that I'm realigned and working, I see that path and why she had such a strong holding on the faith, which inspires me to move forward a little bit more.
Yes, story.
And this man don't want to be in front of the camera.
His story, though.
Yeah.
Once we reshoot it, your story is amazing, bro. And I feel like, and we feel like it's going to touch so many people. So we can't wait to get you back on.
Nice.
And we want to hear from you too. So thank you.
Yeah. You know my story.
No.
We got podcast stories. Beautiful. So
we need your story too. We need your story.
Right.
They need to hear your story too.
I got a question for y'all, actually.
All
right. That's not how this goes.
The same way y'all asked them, like, how is the being involved in mental health? How has that like impacted y'all faith walk? Like, how is saying that yes to the podcast? How has that changed you guys as far as your walk with Christ?
I'm gonna say for me, putting myself out there even just telling my story, my testimony, that was hard for me. You know what I mean? So putting that out there, making myself vulnerable, it just showed how much God truly loves me. Um, and no matter what, He's rebuilding me. You know what I mean? So it strengthened me.
Yeah.
It helps me become a better person. It helps me know that, God brought me from that to who I am now. Like He brought me through that storm. And who I was before isn't who I am now.
Yeah.
So, just strengthen my faith 100%.
Oh, good.
I think for me, it's still an ongoing process. I think you mentioned earlier about, how sometimes you might do things, expect a return, but if I'm not speaking to God in the morning, whatever the case might be, it's not going to happen right. So I'm more now intentional about getting good direction so that this relationship stays right, so that whenever I make a move, it doesn't go left. You know what I mean? So being that I do part of this podcast, I have to be close so I can hear certain things.
Yes.
And hear the right thing, not the things I want to hear. Which means a lot of times I gotta discard some stuff that I might be watching, whatever the case may, or even listening to, so I can get a clear direction. And then when I'm doing that, I'm more focused, and it's easy to get unfocused a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So it helps to keep me grounded for the most part. And even with doing that, keeping me grounded, it helps in other areas too, work wise, home wise, and even health wise to some degree. So yeah, so that's why I look at it. It's still an ongoing transformation.
But you know what else though? We brothers for real. So like, if one of us is going through something,
We'll call.
Yeah, we'll call each other.
Yeah.
Like real rap. So
That's dope.
So we have a question from the audience.
So one of our viewers asked, this is from Metanoa, what belief almost destroyed you? Before you renewed your mind? What belief almost destroyed you?
Good question, viewers.
yeah,
I got it for
Great
you.
question.
I got this. I'm cool. I got it. You
yeah,
ain't got nothing. I kept going down, 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 more and more to that hole. And
yeah.
I needed that hole though. I needed that hole. I needed to smell the stench of the hole, just so that I could get clean a little bit. And I'm still smelling the stench every so often, so that's why I have to keep my mind renewed.
So that's like Paul with that.
The thorn, yeah, you got to get that thorn every so often.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was thinking along the same lines. I wasn't going to say it like that though.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say just being in my own head, thinking that I can do things without anybody else's help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just moving on my own. And so yeah, and moving on my own and not listening to the people that love me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, never do that again.
Yeah. It's interesting because similar, like you said, getting into that whole. For me, it was death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At a young age, I was surrounded by a lot of death. So, like, my grandmother passing when I was young, my grandfather passing, and then just growing up, where we grew up, like, I lost a lot of friends at a young age. Watching, certain friends, like, one of my friends dead in the middle of the street, and the body's laying there, watching his mom, upset. So it's like seeing that, I started becoming numb to death. And that became a grounding point of, is there God? Is there, and then watching my mom go through her illness, I was upset for her, like that she prayed every day, going through it. I'm like, what are you praying to? Because you're just suffering, and there's no give here. But recognizing, like my mom always said, she was Job, and I come from pastors as grandparents, like like being part of church, and it was one of those things where, to your point, like being in that self mind, like prayers don't work, none of this works, but recognizing, like it's like we said earlier, it's not about your timing or your wants, your needs. You got to see the purpose through everything, and that was the hard, I think, pill to swallow with that.
Can I just piggyback off this for a minute? I don't want to take all your time. You're making me think right now. We here, but I wanted to say this to you guys. This week has been the best week I've had probably in over a year.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Not to piggyback too much or to rehash a lot of stuff, but last year around this time, I fractured my 3 areas of my back, right? And I went to the hospital, had all these different tests done. They couldn't really find out why this stuff was happening, whatever the case might be. My blood work came back. We had all these abnormal levels, and it was looking like I had a blood cancer, right? So I had to hold this all in, still going to church, still being a father, still being a husband, all this type of stuff. But my mind isn't there. You know what I'm saying, right? So you keep. It's not talking about the different voices. You got to be careful what you listen to. Like I'm not saying I don't negate anything doctors talk about, but like we hear, they don't have the final say. Right. So when you press with stuff about cancer and stuff like that, this becomes a serious situation now, especially when you have history of those type of bills in the family. You know what I'm saying? So when I got the call that it was a possibility they wanted me to go get these PET scans and all that type of stuff, the day before I was scheduled to go. This is back in October last year now.
Wow.
So I held on this stuff from June until October. I was like, no, this thing was going on. I remember praying that night before, and I prayed like, Lord, help me with this, whatever the case might be, to help me through this season. And the night before, the Spirit said to me, "Don't be surprised if your appointment gets canceled tomorrow, whatever the case might be." Lo and behold, my appointment got canceled that day because it was a mix-up on the schedule, whatever the case may be. And at that moment, it got canceled. I felt relieved, but then I heard God tell me, He said, "You've been listening to all these different people, but you never came to me about the situation." And I heard it so clearly. I was like, "Oh, wow." So I had gotten rescheduled to do this PET scan and everything, but then the following week I called and I canceled all appointments. I wasn't doing no more treatments. I didn't even start any treatment. I was just doing whatever the case would be. And the hospitals kept calling me saying, are you making the right decision? Like, this is not good because you have cancer. I first I don't have cancer. I don't know what you're talking about. So I stopped at that moment and then I started really just diving into scripture. I dove into scripture. I stopped watching regular TV. I just watched sermons. Only time I watched football was football on Sundays or whatever the case. And other than that, I didn't watch nothing else. I had to stay in a season of just being an intentional faith, which we was in last year. So it's funny how we have these themes for the church, but who's actually walking in those themes? I had to be a poster boy for this. But let me go back a little bit because it was June. It was June 5th. At the exact day of last year. I was at a small group, and I was telling the group of men that I was saying I was getting ready to go to a family barbecue, but I felt like I had more relationship with the people in the group as opposed to my own family. After that is when the next day is when my back started hurting. So I went to a barbecue a couple of weeks later. God had me sit down because I had this view of my family looking a certain way, but He had me sit down to really watch them. And when I watched them, I could see the tears in their soul. I could feel I could feel a couple of my family members' soul was just crying out that they needed help. But if I was well, I would have never saw that stuff. So now someone brought this to me, our brother Alonzo. He was like, what you're going through is bodily intercession. It's not you're going through this for your family. It's not just for you, but there was a lesson in there for me as well. Wow. So I went through all this time. So now October, November, December, no treatment. I'm taking black seed oil. I'm taking oregano oil. I'm taking all these natural supplements. But I don't feel any relief. I'm still feeling the same pain. I'm still feeling the same lethargy, whatever you want to call it. And I have no idea what's going on. I'm just really walking in the wilderness. But I'm walking in the wilderness with Christ. By the time I went to get the PET scan, the week before that, I went and took my blood test. Some things came up right, but the same thing that was showing up saying had blood cancer was the same thing that was showing up. So now I went to go take the test. Man, I'm not going to go through that whole day. But when I went and took the test, I remember I prayed the night before and I said, Christ, just meet me in the testing center. Just meet me there. I said, I need to feel your touch there. When I got there, they put me in, they put me in regular stuff. I had to sit in the room, they had to inject me with all this type of things, and have all this nuclear medicine go through me. And as I sat there for an hour, I just kept praying. I kept praying. I was reading Psalms 91. I was this up to all practical steps. This is what we learned. But how many people are actually doing these things? I had to be a poster boy for some of this stuff. And this is why I give my testimony. Because I told God, well, when you get me through this, I want to tell somebody just to give them hope. Right. It's like I heard stories of hope when I was going through what I was going through. Long story short, I get home. And my test results is there when I got home. It was on my phone, on my chart, which it said it was going to be a couple of days later. But when they pulled it up, they was like, there's no signs of multiple myeloma. There's no signs of cancer. There's no signs of...
Amen.
Right? I got to be certain. I said, Lord, thank you. I said, Lord, thank you. And I cried for like days afterwards. But the pain didn't stop. So the pain still didn't stop. So what do you do now? It's funny how February I was praising. May I'm like, I'm in pain, Lord. What's going on here? How are you gonna deal with this? My whole point of saying is that our celebration can be short term. When we feel good for the moment, but then once that arousal's gone, how you gonna handle that part? It took me to this Monday is the first time in over a year I haven't felt any pain.
Amen.
It's the first time over a year. But the whole thing about this is this, and then I'm gonna end at this point. Every year we do the sacrificial offering, right?
Come on and pick him.
We've done the same number for the past 3 years anyway, right? And it's always related to family. And the point of family is that what I was saying, I was looking at my family misconstrued. Our vow, and I don't know if I'll be sure they ain't saying this, but it's already out there now, is that there's certain members that will get to know that God is real, right. Christ is there, and there's gonna be situations that's gonna happen, but they're gonna know without a shadow of a doubt that's them. And I was only thinking about 2, maybe 3 people. Over the past month, God has gone past our expectation. It's like about 5 to 10 people. Like, now I'm exaggerating, but at least about 6 people. We're hearing different stories about seeing movement, different relationships mending. And I'm like, God, thank you. I said, thank you for, first of all, allowing me to believe in you. Thank you for hearing me when I was in those moments. And thank you for going past our expectation.
That's
dope.
I'm sorry.
Drop the mic.
Yo.
Drop the mic.
I ain't got nothing now.
Episode.
But the crazy thing, right, when I'm hearing all of this, right, I feel that there are times in our life where God will put us in that season where we're supposed to be by ourselves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because we're always moving, we're always going. And sometimes the sickness or whatever we're feeling is not unto death. It's not to kill, it's not to hurt us. It's to sit us down. Why? Because we've lost it. Meaning we get to the point where we think we got everything going on. It's all about us. We good. He's like, hold on, bro. No, I need you to sit down. It's not about you. I need to bring you back to earth and let you understand what's going on here. It's me, right? Because even with us, like, and we can just keep jumping from story to story. Like, most people know about, when Selena and I lost the baby. She's going through that. I've been in church my entire life. I ain't never gone through any experience of that nature where I knew God worked in everything. In that moment, like you said, I questioned God. Like, yo, are you serious? I was born in the church, raised in the church. All I know is you healing, delivering, saving, etc., etc. And this, like, what is going on? I'm dealing with church hurt, with this, and I'm like, I don't even want to go to church anymore. I don't want to serve God anymore. I'm like, you can't be real off of this. But I had to sit down, like, and try, like you said, and why am I going through this? Why is this happening to us? Like, we feel like we're dotting every I, we're crossing every T. What are we doing wrong that this had to happen to us? Right. And here's the funny thing. To this day, I still don't have an answer. But where am I at? I had to recognize he's still God. Right. Number 2, I had to recognize, where was Mary at? She had to watch her son die. Who am I that I can't be in the presence and she going through this moment, and the baby's already gone, but she still has to give birth. She's up there, witnessing her son die for us,
Right, yeah.
getting
That's
beat,
deep.
getting spat on, getting ridiculed, criticized, all this.
Yeah.
And I'm going through this thing, and I had to sit here and think about that. Like, hold on, she witnessed her son die, so that we can have a chance to eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't serve God because this happened to me. Like, who am I?
Yeah.
Wow. And once again, still don't have an answer.
Right.
But I got to the point now where I don't even need the answer. I understand that there were some things that has to happen for a reason. And we may never get the answers to all those things that we question God for. Why is this happening?
But you know what? I think you might have just gotten your answer
Yeah.
of why.
Yeah.
Right? This right here, even like all these testimonies, this hopefully, if someone's hearing this going through the same thing, they can see that there's life on the other side.
Yeah.
So
For you.
Elder Ron did that, right? Like that path is not just for you. You keep reroute, like you keep wanting to go your own path, but you have to sometimes go through the fire, not go around or over it. And that's one of the things is like, you say grit and bear, but knowing that you're walking with Christ at that point, you now got the strength that you need. So you never put you in a situation you can't overcome.
Mm-hmm.
But we lose sight of that because we can only see what's in front of us, and recognizing our vision is so small.
Right.
Compared to what's already been outlined for us. So if we tapped into a small portion of what he sees in us, the blessing is just so much bigger. And, that's you got you. To me, that's your answer.
And also, I would say you already moved forward, so you're probably like, why are you looking back?
Right.
The only thing back there is a pillow of salt.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what Bishop said this past Sunday. Like, when the storm's coming, we don't run from that. Like, we especially as a family.
Right.
You buckle down, you hold tight, and you go through that because you don't know what's on the other side of that. So it's like, that's a storm that you made on the other side of, and you got your rainbow baby.
Rainbow baby.
Come on, bro. That's true, man. This is good.
Yeah,
this is good.
Awesome. Good.
So let's ask you this question, right?
Okay.
Now you touched it on just a little bit, but you got your pops, you got your family, you got us. This is not even the whole crew. You know what I mean?
Thanks. Definitely.
But with you being the youngest, like you hear us talking today, but you see us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that you think that you can probably pull from all of us to help you grow, mature, as eventually, if you desire, you're gonna have a wife, you're gonna be a father.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So what are those things that you can say, you know what, I know I can get this from mom and dad, but from your older brothers, what are those things that you feel like you can gain from that?
Well, I mean, y'all are building this episode alone is your obedience. Like, y'all obedience is, in my opinion, I've never seen anything like that. So, having this level of obedience around me is just inspiring alone. But if I were to nitpick,
you don't have to like say, well, from this person I would grab, but like in general.
It's hard to say because there's so much. I would say the biggest thing is just your unwavering faith in not only each other, but the way the world views you. Mm. So when you go out to these places, and this is why I think it's so important to go to a sneaker con or to go to a tournament, basketball tournament, going to these places and like I said earlier, you're throwing out seeds and you're seeing what lands and what's been planted. Mm. But when you go to these places, you get to experience other people and you get to experience other people's lives and their stories and their character, and you see what they're going through. Not even having to talk to them, you can just see them and know that person's going through something. So when you go out to these places and you see someone or a group of team like Metanoa or like Lace with Purpose, and they're out there walking with Christ and having an impact in the community as far as having influence on each other and the people around them, it's hard not to see what you guys have done. Both of you guys have told me. it's hard not to see the I don't want to sound like I'm young, but the aura, the aura of faith that you guys have is it really is inspiring, and it also is something that I really want to take into my day-to-day life because I mean, obviously we're all followers of Christ, we're all called to be disciples, but it's like there's levels, and there's always going to be a problem when things are happening. Like I said earlier, there's always going to be a storm, but that's when you buckle down, and having that faith throughout that storm is inspiring in my opinion. So,
One thing I want to say to you too is this is a little small piece of advice.
yeah.
Is that when you watch all the brothers there, right? You see we all have a common goal, and that's Christ.
Yeah.
But we all operate in our own authentic.
Facts.
Right.
You know, nobody's in competition with each other, and
Yeah.
we're cool to be this way because it's like I'll take myself here. I'm the same place here, the same place in church, same place at work, same place home. I don't have to wear too many different hats because there is no other hat. This is one. Except for the hats are so much.
Yeah.
But just be comfortable in yourself. And then I think that's where people really gravitate to you. Because now they get to see the true Christ in you. Like, you know, I could see when somebody's not really being them.
Yeah.
And they'll still get me, but
Yeah, you get a very jaded version.
stiff arm, you know.
Yeah. But that hasn't always been the case. Like I've said this before, I wasn't raised in church. Like I wasn't raised in a church environment. Like even when I started going to church, I was a very judgmental person, and I would look at other people, especially at their shoe game. And I'd just be like, my man is
No, but you're right.
no, I know I'm the only one that thought that. Like when I put
Man,
No, I wasn't expecting that.
and it was like,
Oh, I saw somebody with Jordan had a briefcase up there. It was like 2 weeks ago.
intentional night. But it's like a part of that still hasn't left me as far as noticing things. But being judgmental, that's something that I really had to work through, and it's something obviously I still struggle with. But
That's a process.
yeah, it's always a process. It's always going to be a something you work towards perfecting, pretty much, because you're always going to chase perfection. Perfection's never going to find you. So it's like but not growing up in church and being involved in a church environment, especially very young. I started going to church religiously when I was, I want to say 14. And one of my first experiences at church was with Victory Youth, and we actually went to the retreat. It was an amazing experience, but the leader at the time approached me, and I said this before, he approached me to be a SALT leader, which was pretty much like a youth leader in that perspective. And that scared me completely. It terrified me. I ended up not coming back to the church for 2 years after that.
Wow.
Yeah, it terrified me. So I eventually did come back, obviously, and when I came back, the first person I met was Brother Craig Linton. And he used to work with my mom back in the day at Aramark or Marriott, one of those two, and he reeled me in pretty much. Like, yeah, he he reeled me in, and it almost gave me like a whole different perspective on everything. And then I went on the second retreat. That's where I had my first real experience with God and Christ, and that's where I fully gave my life to Jesus. So it's like, yeah, a part of that judgmental spirit is always going to be there, but that's something I always have to cast out.
Mm-hmm.
But another part of that is noticing and having a discernment for others. Like I always, and this is credit to my mom, she always tells me that my gift is discernment. So it's like, when I look at other people, especially in public and at sneaker con, especially at sneaker con. Especially at sneaker con. Don't get me started. I look at other people, I immediately, the first thing my mind goes to is, are they okay? And what immediately follows that is, what immediately follows that is having a sense of grace for that person, because you don't know what they're going through. You're never going to know what they're fully going through, ever in your life. Even if you know them your whole life, you're never going to know what their full story is. Right. So being able to have that gift of discernment and tell what other people are going through is something that I don't take too lightly. Like that's something I don't take for granted because not everyone has that, and not everyone's gonna have that heart to know when and when not to say certain things.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta have a very sharp mind when it comes to being in a position that both you guys are in, where you're the influencers and content creators and podcast hosts and things like that. And it shows. It shows in public environments, like when you interview people and things like that. You can see the gift of discernment and also the gift of ministering to other people. So it's, yeah, that's really it. That's what
I think the beauty of it, like you said, was we all are our own authentic selves. But then it's like I know for a fact, and I mentioned this to Selena, all of y'all play a specific role in my life. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, if I need some handiwork, I know I could call my brother.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I know if I could be open and honest and vulnerable, I could chop it up with you. Like all of us play that role. I call James, yo, how you fix this? How you put this together? Because he's handy, but he's technical.
Right.
So if I'm trying to figure something,
Skill.
but I also know I can chop it up with him on a personal level. Like all of us play that role. And I even told your pops, I said one of the things that I admire about him is very family oriented.
Yes.
Like he shows that, and you are a product of that. And it's like that's
That's a
something
blessing.
that inspires me as well. Like,
Yeah.
yo, I got my family. I want to be the same way. You know what I'm saying? So the beauty of the relationships, even though we're in two different lanes with our podcast, but we're still brothers. And to be able to sit here, chop it up, have these conversations, and just to laugh and everything like that's the beauty of it.
facts.
That we
Facts.
all, once again, are all authentic selves.
Yeah.
And when we get together, it's like we just pick up right where we left off. You know,
It's all love.
It's all
Yeah.
exactly. So
Brothers.
that's dope, man.
Right.
I get fashion tips for all of y'all, to be honest. I told them the last time we did this, I said, yo, if I ever needed to get it fitted, I'm going right to Omega. Yeah. Either Omega or Jesse, but
You gotta go to no,
I
you gotta
could
go to Jess.
I could probably count on my one hand how many times I've seen Omega without a hat on.
Serving.
Exactly. And
He only got Philly's hat though. He gotta mix it up.
that's
Though.
my, you know,
I understand he a Philly ball doing
what you got
Trump.
on?
Nixon 5, baby. Nixon 5. Exactly. But he gotta switch it up. Jess switches it up.
I will say this though. Jesse with the jackets, the what's it called? The what's the name of it? The one that he had on the other day, or that Sunday that we saw. I forgot the name of it, but he had one that matched.
These two with the jackets.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
These two with the
the
jacket.
jacket.
That's what it was.
They got the
Him especially. Yeah, he be bugging. He be bugging with the jacket.
Cause y'all be having like the
You got the jean jacket.
the little floral jacket that go with the joint.
The August heat. My man got a denim jacket on, long jeans. Bugging, yo. Bugging. Tuck over the jeans, by the way. Tuck over the jeans.
These are the jacket brothers right here.
Bugging. I ain't gonna lie. Bugging.
Look, they y'all pop up one day with the same jacket.
Yeah.
I get fashion tips from all of y'all. So it's like, yeah, I enjoy being.
No, and I think I shared this on a previous episode that we did when we all came together before, that I was one dimensional with my colors. Right? Yeah, I was red, white, and blue. So they was like, don't you come in with no red, white, and blue. So it's like, how do I switch it up? I saw Jess. Jess is not afraid to throw colors out there. You know what I mean? So it was him giving me the inspiration, and I mentioned that to him too, like to just go ahead and take a chance with the colors. So now I'm not afraid to throw a purple out there or turquoise and put it together and make it work because it fits.
Yeah.
But you know, and I think you know what, and I also think remember we did the interview with Tony Barr and we was talking about combinations. You know what I mean? He's another one who his style is his style,
Right.
but he'll throw those colors together and it makes it work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was another one too. So
Yeah, he is.
But you be wearing them colors now, though.
And I'm in.
There you go.
I say this. See, listen, you'll see Jesse with some crazy colors on. I ain't gonna lie. My man's throwing a floral blue one Sunday. Yeah, you got some stuff with it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
See, I think that's the piece is just stepping into, you know, like you said, being authentic and
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people would be different you know, where they go like, you know, I had to be different sometimes at work, but even now, you know, I'm going to work and same thing now. I'm coming to church and because I'm like, you know, do I really need to change who I am in all these different settings? And that switching gets exhausting.
It does.
So,
Yes. Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
I'd rather, you know, you're gonna get the same James in everywhere you go. You either gonna, I say, love me or hate me, and I'm fine either way because you know I'm just gonna be me.
Right.
And it took a long time to get that because everybody has that sense of like, well, what do everybody think? And you know, I go back for it, and you know, my wife always called me the old man because I was like. I haven't cared for people thought in a long time. So it's one of the things like, you know, I'm going to do me. You know, you can get by with it or not. And I love the fact that what you said about that. It's like, you know, this is just a portion of who we hang out, but everybody's themselves. And to the point where we're like, you know, with your pop, we can even say like the type of sneaks we know he gonna grab. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We love you.
You know, but everybody has that, right? You know, we all know like each other's flavor, but it's supported and expressing. You don't see that everywhere,
Right.
And even like Bishop calls us out, you don't see a connection of brotherhood like that.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Let alone at a church, but even just outside of it and being able to connect like something like this, I would have never thought happened, and a lot of it just happened from connection at church. Mm-hmm. So that's where, you know, lets me know that to our earlier point, God is ordering that path, but he's ordering those connections and relationships as well.
Mm-hmm. When Bishop says that this church has more men than church have people, that's not to be taken lightly. Like, that's a fact. That's a huge fact. That's crazy. And it shows throughout. Like where we're at right now. Like it's crazy, yo. Yeah.
Listen. This was good.
This was
awesome. This was good.
This is really good.
You got more? Anything else?
I think that's all right.
He was quiet over there. We're gonna get you some. What you got? Now he's messing with you. So what? Before we close out, what is next for Metanoa? What can we expect next from you guys?
We got some people that we interviewing tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got two on deck right now.
All right. So where can we follow Metanoa? Give us, you know, all your outlets and where we can follow the podcast, follow you guys.
We're on YouTube. Metanoa podcast on YouTube.
Facebook.
Right. Yeah, Facebook too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I can't think of it.
Shout out to our brother Mark. He couldn't be with us, but we want to send you some love, bro. Your brothers represented,
and we'll get you on next time, Mark.
Definitely. Yo, AJ, where can everybody follow you at? Give us your social media outlets.
You can follow me at Ace2Diff on Instagram. That's pretty much my name anywhere. Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, that's
TikTok too, right?
No, I got TikTok. I don't get posts on TikTok, but Instagram you can follow me at.
All right, and you can follow Lace with Purpose on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Everywhere, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and also you can check out our website at www.lacewithpurpose.com. This has been a blessing to have our brother from Metanoa, our brother AJ, J Bags. This is what we do. Till next time, peace.
Peace.
That's a wrap.
From the streets to the stage, let the truth ring out. Laced with purpose, either in or out. Now we laced on the road, taking purpose everywhere. Different cities, different people, same message that we share. Laced the moments, capturing memories that last. Every picture tells a story, every blessing built to last. In the soul purpose moments, every step got meaning. Walking by faith, even when the future ain't revealing. Not just content, we create an impact every day. Leaving footprints that'll point somebody to the way. This ain't entertainment, this a lifestyle we live, giving hope to the hopeless with the gifts that we give. When they ask what we doing, tell them God's in control. He's the author of the vision and the keeper of our soul. Yeah, we walking with a purpose. Every step is intentional. Laced up tight, the mission's unconventional. From the court to the mic, yeah, the vision is biblical. Welcome to the show, yeah, this is Laced with Purpose. Let's go! Check the kicks, they clean, but the walk is cleaner. Mindset on the prize, couldn't be no keener. Daily discipline, building up my demeanor. Iron sharpens iron, spirit gets a little meaner. The hardwood to the booth.